Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, I still probably sound a little bit sick, getting closer and closer to hopefully being over this, but again, I do apologize if I sound a little bit weird today. What we're focused on this time around is a very interesting change that definitely went under the radar, pun intended, that has a pretty big effect on a lot of your loadouts here in Warzone. So obviously with the way it works in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, the minimap is very basic. Obviously, if you were shooting an unsuppressed weapon, you do not show up on the minimap. If you are shooting a suppressed weapon, you do not show up on the minimap. There are no red dots when you are firing a gun, unless of course there is a UAV, in which case if you are shooting a suppressed weapon or an unsuppressed weapon, you will show up as a ping on that map afterwards, which is still a very weird system. It makes suppressors kind of useless in that sense, but that's not the topic for today. The topic for today is instead how they've actually gone through and stealth removed all signs of weapon gunfire in Warzone 2, which obviously would make a lot of impacts on what you want to be running in the muzzle category in specific. So because of the way that the minimap has worked in Warzone 2 since launch, a lot of players are already going, is this suppressor worth it? Should I be using this over something else? And at least when Warzone 2 first dropped, the answer in my opinion was still yes, because there is the compass, which is obviously another main factor of what you're seeing on the screen. And with how the compass worked initially, you'll probably see where I'm going with this. Every time you shot an unsuppressed weapon in Warzone 2, your dot would show up on that compass if you were within the general vicinity of another player, right? And depending on how close you were to that player, that red dot on the compass could be larger, it could be smaller, but it's directional and tells that player, okay, there's an enemy firing gun at 247. I can go that way. I'll find action. I'll find that player shooting that unsuppressed gun. So that was sort of the alternative, if you will, to not having red dots on the minimap. Now, is it a complete replacement? Absolutely not. I admittedly rarely would look at my compass to find weapon fire, because it seems like if I can see the weapon fire on the compass, I could probably hear that weapon being shot just by myself, and I can tell which direction it is and I can head towards that regardless. So while the red dots were showing up on the compass, they weren't the most useful thing in the world, but at least they were there, right? It does give meaning to using a suppressor and wanting to stay silent, or at least a little bit more quiet than without a suppressor. However, Call of Duty, Raven, Infinity Ward, I'm not sure who made the change, but there was a secret update, and this actually happened a few weeks back. I was really hoping that, after the break happened, that they would go through and realize, oh, we've changed this, we should probably fix that, because it was never mentioned in any patch notes. It was never mentioned anywhere officially, but they've actually gone through and removed the red dots from the compass here in Warzone 2. So now, if you shoot a suppressed weapon, you're not showing up on the radar and you're not showing up on the compass. However, if you shoot an unsuppressed weapon, you're not showing up on the radar, and now you're also not showing up on the compass. To me, that seems like a very strange change, but more importantly, it completely changes how you might want to build a loadout. Now, I'm sure if you guys regularly tune into the loadout videos that I post, you know that basically on every single gun, regardless of range, close range, mid-range, long range, doesn't matter, I'm pretty much always running a suppressor on my weapons. And the main part of that is, yes, to stay off of that compass. I don't want my red dots to show. Obviously, if you're someone who is playing very aggressive, you don't want to have your red dots constantly showing up there, because you could get third-partied very easily. And in this game, that's pretty much a straight, trip to the gulag or back to the main menu without a doubt, because of how the health works in this game, right? So obviously that stealth factor is like priority number one. But then of course, some other suppressors also have some nice additional bonuses. Certain ones give you really good velocity, like the polar fire. Other ones give you control, like the Custovia. Other ones give you some slightly better range. So there are some good bonuses on those suppressors right now, but the main focus of them is now being completely negated by this secret update to remove red dots completely from the radar and the compass now. So this then poses the question, should you be running something else in the muzzle category? And as we get into this, just a reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with the latest going on between news, updates, class setups, tips. Everything you need to know about Call of Duty is always right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, join us ultimately on the road to 1 million subs. And if you guys enjoy this video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Would be seriously appreciated. Let's try and aim for 2,000 likes on this one. Also, quick shout out to my friends over at Gamer Advantage. It is, of course, a brand new year, and start the year off right. Pick yourself up a pair of Gamer Advantage glasses if you are someone who is working, doing school, or playing games, looking at screens for long periods at a time. Gamer Advantage glasses are for you. I absolutely swear by my pair. I wear them all day, every day. If you're looking to reduce your headaches, your eye strain, or you just want to sleep better at night, get yourself a pair of these. They are ridiculously awesome. They offer prescription or regular lenses, and code Immortal gets you a nice little discount at checkout. Link will be down below. But anyways, focusing back on the muzzle category in specific, there is still a use for suppressors. I will say that. I don't think completely outright that this update has made suppressors completely useless. However, it is now a much larger conversation at hand. Should you be running this? And you really have to take into consideration where you are planning to use a weapon, because I will say, for long range, using one of those suppressors that offers better velocity or slightly better control or slightly better range is something that I would still personally use. So if I'm using an RPK or a RAL or a Kastov 7.62, something like that for long range, that primary long range weapon, I think that's still solid. Now, yes, you could use a compensator that's going to help out with horizontal and vertical control, and that's still going to be a good option. But obviously for long range, if you can capitalize on better velocity to make your hit reg feel a little bit more consistent and the weapon a little bit easier to use, or if you can get those extra few meters out of damage range, that's still a really good choice, don't get me wrong. But for some mid-range and for some close range now, where velocity is not really a big deal, where adding a couple of extra meters of damage range isn't always a huge deal, I feel like this update has made suppressors completely useless. So, you know, on your rifles, on your LMGs, on your snipers, you'd still want to be running that stuff. But for close range, on your pistols, on your SMGs especially, I feel like you can now drop those suppressors, gain back that ADS speed and whatnot that you usually lose. Maybe use a compensator if you wanted to, or use no muzzle at all and trade that for something else where you can get a larger magazine or a different ammo type or a better mobility stock or something like that, because you're really not going to be missing out on all that much close range. The suppressors previously were able to keep you off of that compass, but now it doesn't really matter. So you might as well make the most out of your, close range guns now, rather than playing a little bit more defensive in the fact that you'd use a suppressor to maintain that stealth level, but the game's doing that for you automatically now. So not much of a point in doing that, you know what I'm saying? So overall, this is a very weird change. I'm not sure why they've gone through and updated the compass and the mini map like this. Obviously they have their reasons. Not sure if we'll ever get any communication on that, but this is a change that does affect your loadouts. So take that into consideration going forward. Obviously my future loadout videos will reflect this change as well. But that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you guys are new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. That way you can always guarantee you're up to date with all things going on in COD. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code Immortal for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.